Looking at the stars, Russell Grant this morning, he's coming to the rescue, giving advice to you, the members of the public, and some celebrities there. Also, what whiskey should you have with your haggis this weekend? Burns night tomorrow night, isn't it?
Burns night tomorrow night.
Good,
You've
good,
developed a little taste for whiskies. You're going to get to
and I've always liked a bit of haggis.
I love a bit of haggis.
A bit of haggis and neeps and tatties and all that sort of thing. But
first, though, this morning, how did you get on the school run? Were you on time? Was it always a bit of a panic getting the kids to school?
You're very annoying on that school.
I'm annoying.
Yeah,
what? Annoyingly on time?
No, you're ridiculously on time. What is the point
of
being there half an hour?
Well,
all right. Well, it's not for us to debate. Others will debate this.
We are going to debate it. Yes, because what if your children are persistently missing the beginning of school? They're consistently late. Should parents be fined if they don't get their children to school on time?
Well, this is what's happening in Milton Keynes. There's a primary school there, which if you as a parent could get a 60 quid fine if your kids miss registration 10 times in the space of 12 weeks. You'd need to go to class to work that out, wouldn't it? It's like a mathematics equation. 10 times in the space of 10 weeks equals 60 quid. OK, if that's not paid within 21 days, it will double to £120. This is. And if it's still not paid, they could face prosecution.
Well, this is Emerson Valley School, and they say they hope it'll raise standards. But is this just a step too far? Well, joining us to debate the issues, a journalist, a mum of one, Einstein, who says absolutely not. She thinks it's fine. It's just another way of them getting money out of us poor parents. Mum of four and journalist Sibary, though, says it's a great idea and it will deter the parents, actually. We'd love to know what you think as well. Should parents be fined for their children getting to school late, consistently late? That's the question.
And here's the answer from Shona. Shona, do you think it is the child's fault or the parents' fault?
Well, I've been doing the school run for 10 years. I've got 4 children. I'm notoriously late every single day. It's terrible, and my kids absolutely hate it. And my feeling about this is, what's the alternative? You know, my children have been told off at school for being late. The school have nagged me. I've had a decade of being nagged.
Can I ask you, why are they consistently late, if you're saying it's your fault?
I have a real problem with timekeeping. I just don't understand it. Even if I was running on time, I would sort of make myself late as I left the door. I don't know what it is. And the kids all wait for me in the car, you know, and they're always saying, "Mum, hurry up." And no matter what time I get up in the morning, I just can't seem to manage to get them to school on time. We're always about 10 minutes late. And you may say, 10 minutes, what does it matter? Well, it does matter for lots of reasons. Number one, because the school have told them to get to school at a certain time, and if you're working within that structure, you should do what the school is saying, if you're buying into the school's ethos. Number two, it's sending out a very bad signal to your children, and I know this, and I'm a you know...
You're doing it. You're allowing yourself to actively keep them.
Well, I try, and we've tried all sorts of different things. I get up earlier, the kids help me with jobs in the morning to get out the house, but getting 4 kids out of the house is not...
But you're now saying that you'll only get them to school on time if you're fined. So you're putting the value of getting your children to school at 60 quid or £120, therefore your money is more valuable than your children getting to school on time.
What I'm saying is that in the real world, we all struggle to do things.
You are saying you don't get your kids to school on time.
No, what I'm saying, I struggle to get my school. We do get to school on time.
Is to make sure you're fine.
What I'm saying is it works better than nagging parents and punishing children. The children, we live in a day and age where most parents are not sending their kids to the local school. We spend our lives in the car. You know, we're driving longer distances. And unless your child is at senior school and taking the bus on their own, it's not the child's fault.
By your own admission, you're a terrible timekeeper. It's your fault.
It's my fault, so punish me. I would rather have SPA vouchers at the end of every month. I would rather the school said to me, you know, Mrs. Sibary, if you could get your children to school on time, let's lose a carrot approach. We'll do this, but this is a great idea. I think it will work.
But I'm sorry, your children are begging you to take them to school.
It
doesn't work because, number one, parents... Honestly, we live in the real world. We've got trains that don't run on time, buses that don't run on time, parents and a government that says you've got to get your kids to school on time. And schools, they're actually responsible for helping us get to school, and they're not doing their job.
The government are responsible for you to get your children to school.
There's the odd occasion. We must stress here, this is people who are consistently late.
Yeah, but even if you're late, say 10 times, that is actually possible in a school term, to be late 10 times. And that could be just a mother running late. I would rather my daughter be late for school and calm and walk into reception and do her roll call a little bit late and apologise to the teacher than not.
But they're often not calm, because you've just said your children are very...
And I'm not going to do a run for the gate and like my child on calm.
That when you are running late, it's not calm, and the children aren't arriving at school. And the school said this to me for years, and I didn't believe them. They said, actually, it's detrimental to their education.
But you're allowing it to happen.
Late, I'm trying. I'm a real mother. I'm trying. And what I'm saying
a real mother too, and I don't... Fines will not work.
This would work for me. And to blame the government. You're sending a signal.
I'm not just blaming the government.
You're sending a signal to your children. Can you just let me make my point? You're sending
you've already
You are
had
saying-
your
well,
word.
let me
you
say
have,
one
you have
thing.
to talk one at a time, otherwise we'll never hear either.
What
of
I'm
you.
saying is that also it's important that the teachers sit down and talk to parents. If they're continually late, there might be a reason. The school is the coalface, the social welfare coalface for our children and parents. So if there is a problem with a child at home, perhaps they're being abused, then the
Okay,
school
so
should
say
pick
they
that
come
up.
to you
That's
and
it.
say,
Could
is
I-
there a
could I just-
problem? And she says, I just can't get myself up in the morning.
Well, then, clearly, I think a silent tax on parents, which is what this is, we cannot afford it and people won't pay it. And I would rather go to jail to make a point.
Okay.
That's not very good motherhood, going to jail.
Right,
is it?
instead of-
Instead
Oh,
of
really?
being-
Oh, really?
Shona, when you were young, were you late for school?
No, my mother was incredibly organised,
That's
and
good.
she
Right.
taught me. And also, you know, I do believe that, you know, if you're sending a signal to your children saying it's OK to make excuses for being late, it isn't. If you send
But
your
you're
child to a
continually
school,
making excuses.
Right.
It's your
And I
fault.
don't
It's
think
your
it's
fault.
right.
Let
I
me
don't
tell you what
think it's
happened to
right.
me 1970, 1971, if I was late for school. The teacher went to the drawer, and I would have been 10 years of age, and they'd taken out a leather strap, and they would have taken your hand. Can I do it to you?
No.
Okay. And they took the leather strap, and,
But that's not
and you
right.
got through. Well, I'm just telling you, you weren't late very often.
but
that was number one.
Amy, would
If
you
it's
have
not
Number
the
two
child's
is
fault, then. If it's
number
not the
two is when I
child's
went to
fault-
grammar school. Indeed, I'm just going to tell you, when I went to grammar school, the dean of discipline said to me, Holmes, if you're late for school, you'll be late for everything in life, and so it has proved to be. And the third point I'd like to make is, one day I was going to school, and as would happen in Belfast, the bus was hijacked. A masked man got on with a machine gun and sprinkled petrol around the place and started burning the bus. So you sort of get off, as you do. And traumatised as 11 or 12-year-old, you walk to school, and there is the president of my college, St Malachy's College, standing there, and President Walsh is standing reading his Bible at the door, and you come up, smoke all round your face. A man with a machine gun has just got you off the bus. He said, Father, the bus was hijacked. They burnt the bus down the bottom of the road. And they hijacked, and that's why I'm late. And he said, detention, Holmes, go to the office. And that was it.
Well, that's-
Zero
Well,
tolerance is what I'm saying. Zero tolerance.
But
But
I'm saying it's not
parents
fair.
cannot afford it, and I think it's a silent tax on parents. I don't think
Well-
it's responsible schooling. I think the school needs to look at why the children are consistently late, and I think that if there are problems at school, we can potentially catch
What about the school that
another
says
welfare
we've
case.
spoken to the parents? Is there a problem at
Well,
home? They say to
they've
Shona,
been
and she
talking to
says,
me for a
no
decade.
problem. I'm just
And it doesn't
can't
work for
be on
you.
No, a
time."
fine would work.
You know, there are schools.
I don't
who-
think fines just do not work
And
because
also-
I don't think it's actually technically legal, and it
Well,
can
well,
be
apparently
contested.
it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
It is
Yeah.
legal. And
Well, I would
also,
say test it.
if you're blaming the
I would say
government
test
for not
it
getting
too.
your children... You know, I hate this sort of attitude, oh, it's not my fault, my
Oh,
child's
parents
overweight.
like me, is that the
Let's
argument
blame the
you're gonna run
government.
now?
You know what? When
I
your
would
child
like to
gets
see
a job,
every
if
politician
they went
fined
into
for not-
school,
for being
let me
late
make
to
my
every
point.
interview,
If your
for every
child
time
went
they go to
into
question time.
its job as
That's
an
what I would
adult
like
and said,
to
I'm
see.
late because of the trains were late, they're going to lose their job. You're sending out a terrible signal that it's OK to be late, it's OK not to follow what the school's policy is.
This from the mother that's consistently late.
I am trying,
There
but
be
I'm
the
saying
irony
this
in
is,
this
I'm
debate.
giving, I think
Yeah,
it
but
would
she's
work for
saying
me.
this could turn her around.
This
if
would
she
Yeah, but
turn me around.
she'll only do it if she has to put her hand in her pocket, so she's valuing her cash rather than over her children. I'm sorry, but that's where your
what
argument...
alternative would you use?
Folks, so we're just
I would
been
happily
asking
let
you,
my
is
child
it that
walk into
big a deal?
school
Obviously, you're
late.
hearing the debate going on here. I
are you
choked on my water there. But Ruth, you think it's a big deal. You think punctuality is sort of next to godliness to you,
Well,
isn't
it's
it?
not that. I just think we've all got to keep to time. I go to school. I've got to be on time to come here. I can't come here every week and go, sorry, there's a lot of traffic. I left a bit late. Sorry, missed the start of the show. It wouldn't happen. So I think you are sending... I would not like to be responsible for making Jack late for school. If he's responsible, if I'm in the car sitting and he's forgotten his homework book and he's late, I say, your problem, mate, if you get a detention. But I wouldn't consistently make him late. And I think it's very hard for schools. You know, can they just let everyone be late?
That's
they can't
it.
do that. They've got to be
And
some
also
action.
children hate being
There's
different
no-
from their peers.
Yeah,
They
well,
don't want
stop.
to stand
okay,
out.
your children don't want to stand out. You've made a living writing about your children. Therefore, I think that argument is null and void in this particular debate.
OK. Shona says we've got to do something about it. We should make it more enforceable. We should take that £60 hit. That will turn things around. And Ali is saying, look, you know, a bit of give and take, for goodness sake. It's all human life is there. Does it really do that much harm? Let's get your thoughts from Rylan, and then we'll tell you how you voted on this. Rylan.
Someone get them ladies a bucket of water and throw it over them. It's getting hot in here. Loads of you have been tweeting in. Sarah says, try having 4 kids at 3 different schools and then you might understand we're not late on purpose. Alison said, if children are late all of the time, then yes, I agree, but you shouldn't fine a parent for their child being late if there's an accident or bad traffic. Ben said it's the parents' responsibility to get their children to school on time unless there's a good reason for them to be late. But Niall says punctuality is key to a child's education. Keep comments coming in.
OK, Darren, you've got the poll result.
Yes, this is an online poll done by NetMums, and this is 1,000 people. Do you think families who persistently, we must say, bring their children to school late should be fined? and 58.4% of you said yes, and 41.6% said no. So
60-40.
60-40, yeah, 60-40 said yes. And you think it would work for
I
you?
think it will work. It would work for
It
me.
won't
I'd
work.
rather have spa vouchers, as I said, you know, so message to my kids' school, that would work even better, but...
Brave, you've got deep
You prefer the
pockets.
carrot, not
Ali,
the
I
stick.
think there's that is a significant enough of people who are prepared to accept this. Surprised by that?
No, I'm not surprised because I think that until those people get fined and those people have to put their hand in their pocket, they're going to say, no, actually, I don't agree with the fine. I just don't think the fines will
Or
work.
they might not do it again.
Thank you.
I just don't think the fines will work.
Guys, thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
But time now dictates that we move on at this stage.
Now, Jeff Brazier looked very nice at the National
He-
Television
he-
Awards,
he-
doesn't he? Always
very
looked
dapper as
smart.
always, yes.
But then I sometimes prefer to see him with less clothes on.
Are we going to get that
We're
chance?
going to get that chance now, ladies. Yes, he's stripped off again for us to tell you all about the competition.